Hey, welcome to my first YouTube channel for friends, family, anyone watching. Um, my name is Carlos, and I will basically, in my first video, be explaining Escape from Tarkov, like a beginner's guide. I will try to go as in depth as I can. If you want to see more of these videos, just hit a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, and I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Puya. I'll put my link in the description, as well as anything else that I explain in this video to help you guys out get better at the game. So super simple. I want to make this video nice and sweet and short. I know there's a lot of videos out there that are like 50, 60 minutes long. I just want to make this as short as I can, but still covering the basics. I will not go over um, more in depth later on tutorial because I want to help the players starting off knowing nothing about Escape from Tarkov and at least getting an understanding. So anything above like level 15, you probably won't get anything new here. But I'll try. I'll try to cover as much as I can. So first things first, starting off, you'll get to choose two from two characters. Will be called your PMC. So from the two characters, it's going to be a Usak and a bear. This is when I'm telling you when you barely load into the game. The Usak is a U.S. military soldier versus the bear is more Russian. Russian military soldier. It does not matter who you choose, um, because they all have the base sets. The fundamentals of the game stay exactly the same. It's just different clothing, different voice lines, what etc. Um, so whoever you want to choose is up to you. As soon as you choose, you'll be dropped into the game right off the bat. So, when you're dropped into the game right off the bat, I would explain. I'm gonna go into depth in every single one of these tabs and what they do, and maybe a bit of settings, so you guys can get an understanding on settings as well. But first things first is let me explain the game. The game is an FPS hardcore shooter. Um, what what the main objective of the game is, I would say, is getting into a raid, getting into a lobby, looting the best you can, maybe getting some PvP and getting out. It is not a battle royale. It's different from a battle royale because everyone could live if no one gets into PvP. It's not last man standing. There's no zone. There's nothing like that. There's extracts. To pretty much get it simple, the main objective of the entire game is to complete all the tasks which come with a big task. There's this final task that pretty much shows like, oh yeah, you got the biggest task, which would be Kappa case. You'll learn more about that, but I just don't want to bombard you with so many things. Um, the main storyline of the game is finish all the tasks, um, get as high as level as you can, and then get as much money as you can. That's the main objective of the game now. This is still beta testing. This is changing. There's going to be a lot of things going on. So if you start now, it's a great time to get in. You'll learn so much, and so much will change, which will keep the game being feeling fresh. And I think we still have a lot of time with this game, so I really enjoy it. But let's get back. Let's get right into it. So if we load, let's say we're not even going into our character yet. Let's just say uh, you want to get into a lobby for some reason. You just want to go in. You just want to feel out the game. Now, after you've chosen your character, you won't be able to choose that character anymore unless you reset your profile. But here we go. We'll start with a scav or a PMC. Now a scav. A scav, you want to be taking the scavs as much as you can. Reason being is because your PMC is your main character. PMCs are main characters. They will always be real players. If you ever see a PMC, they'll always be real players. PMC is your main character, and a scav is, let's just, how would I say it, a second life. Let's say you have loot on this scav that's randomized. You have a totally randomized kit, and you can go in, and if you survive that raid with this random person, then when you extract all the loot that this guy has, this gun, this rig will go straight to your main character. So you can take a scav when you first start off. You can take a scav every 20 minutes. I would suggest scavving when you start off is the biggest thing. Always scav, 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 scav. Reason being is because you have so much to gain and nothing to lose. So this is the primary focus that you should be focused on early on in the game, so you're not losing so much. Um, you'll get experience off playing with the scav yourself, right? You'll learn the game. So that's what a scav is. Now, in game, there's going to be player scavs, which means it's one of you, right? If you go in with a scav, you'll be a player scav. There'll be PMCs, real players that are in there, and there'll be scavs, but there'll be AI scavs, computer scavs, pretty much bots in the game. Um, the bots in the game could be fairly easy um, versus maybe when you're fighting against the boss scavs, which is they're not like boss, they're not like aliens or anything. They're just pretty well kitted scavs. As you can see, this scav is not as kitted as my scav. My PMC has my PMC has better equipment versus the scav, so they're relatively easy to kill. So don't worry about that. The people that you should be worrying about is PMC and maybe scav bosses, because scav bosses come in a little bit more geared, better armor, things like that, better weapons, but you could still take them out pretty relatively easy if you play it smart and you know where they spawn. Um, but not to bombard you on too much things. Let's just keep going in. Then your PMC, right? Your PMC is your character, your main character. So if you take any loot in, anything that you have, anything that you're wearing will be lost if you die. Anything that you pick up will also be lost if you die. But anything that you pick up and you take back and let's say you extract, you get to keep all that loot. We'll talk more about loot and how that works later. So let's just say you're ready to go in and you want to go in as a scav. So we click scav, right? Because you have two different choices to click from. We want to do scav. That's what I would primarily suggest you doing. Every 20 minutes you get one after you use it. So within that time, maybe you can run a PMC if you want to as well. And even gives you a little description. This wasn't there before, but it says begin raid as a scav, a local bandit with a random set of gear. Tarkov is your home. You make the rules. Actually, that reminded me of something. When you are a scav, um, other AI scavs will not shoot you. You're like a friendly, but when you're a PMC, everyone on the map will be hostile, okay? Um, but PMCs will still be hostile to you. Player scavs will still be hostile to you, so be very, very careful. Let's keep going though. So if you, I'm just trying to show you the menu and how you would go in. So you want to click next, right? Scav would be next, right? And then once you're here, you have a couple maps to choose from. Currently, right now, we don't have Streets of Tarkov, Suburbs, Terminal, Lighthouse, and Town. But we do have other maps. But I would suggest, big time suggestion, is if you want to get better at the game, first learn one single map at a time. I would definitely suggest learning one map until you get, and then branch out. So factory and customs are two maps that I recommend. Uh, I a lot pretty much. So the customs map is one where you can get nice PvP, good looting in, good scab kills. This is pretty much the main one. Um, Tarkov or Battlestate wants you to start on. It pushes you a lot of tasks on this map. It wants you to get used to customs. It's pretty much the middleman on customs. Factory is such a small map. You can get that map within like 5 raids. You'll understand the entire map. So I also recommend you hitting factory so you're able to do quick looting, kill some people. So when you start off, I will start off with customs and factory. But let's say we want to do factory. We'd click on factory. Actually, let's click on customs. We click on customs, okay? It'll tell you on the right-hand side a description of the land, a little picture, how many minutes the raid is going for. So every raid is 25 minutes when you go in as a scav. I think it changes as a PMC, I believe. Let me see. So you can do the same thing. Just click on PMC and next. Yeah, no, so it's 25 minutes regardless. But you, as a scav, you'll spawn in a little bit later. Um, because you're a scavenger, you're trying to find loot. I hope I'm being a little bit um, nice and explanatory here. It'll tell you how difficult it is for you, for your level, for your gear, for your cash, all that. It'll change as you go, as you progress. But right now it's saying it's easy. I'm a high level, etc. So it's pretty easy. It's 8 to 12 PMCs. That's how 8 to 12 main players spawn there. Um, yeah, right. Let me check PMC again. Yeah, 8 to 12 main players spawn there. So then you have the select time phrase. You can go either in the morning, or I'm sorry, in the nighttime, or in the morning, or like daytime, nighttime, right? Just it goes by military time. This would be 8 o'clock at night. This would be 8 o'clock in the morning, etc. It keeps going constantly. So just choose wisely. Um, and definitely try not to choose nighttime when you're a beginner. Uh, I would say suggest going with morning all the time. It's scary at night, and there's a lot of things I do not want to get into it because I don't want to put too much on you. But it's super easy. Just choose daytime. Get yourself started. So we would choose daytime. It's 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then you're ready. You got your character here. You'll have more characters here if you're going in with a group, but it's super easy. You have the players that potentially could be in your lobby, um, and then you have a group of four if you wanted to do a group of four. It'll tell you the current weather conditions, and then you can just press ready, and you're ready to you're going in. You know. So now that we've explained that, I want to get into the next thing, which are trading. I'm gonna skip character for now because I don't want to put too much on you just yet. So let's put trade. Let's go trading here. So trading is very simple. You're gonna have different traders. You're gonna have Jaeger locked when you first start, but you're gonna have different traders. These different traders have pretty much different things that they could trade you, and it's good to trade with your traders because you will uh, you will get cheaper stuff as you progress to the through the game. So you know, rubles is a big thing here. Which is like currency, right? So you want to get as cheap as you can with these traders. So we'll start off with proper. We'll start off with proper. Um, so proper, he'll sell you AK stuff. Think attachments for it, mags, different guns, right? Different AKs. He'll be your man for some weapons as well. Weapons if you want them and stuff like that. He'll also sell you some armor, different things. But this is mainly the main loadout. All these would be grayed out for you if you start. You're gonna start with level one. This is level one. You can upgrade your traders as you go just by playing the game and completing their tasks. There's level one, level two, level three, and then last level, which is loyalty four. So you'll start off with level one, and most of these should be um, grayed out. They're grayed out because you haven't examined them. Examination in the game pretty much means you haven't looked at it yet, so you don't know what it is. All you need to do is middle mouse button down and I'll examine it for you while you're here. So you can examine that whole thing. If you want to go through every single trader and examine everything, that'll get you a couple levels up just because you'll get XP for examining all those things, just for doing that. So if you want to level up as fast as you can, that is the move. So you'll see he'll sell you mags, he'll sell you some parts, some AK parts, and actual AK guns in the beginning. Um, we'll go to therapist. Therapist, as it sounds, it's more of a like a doctorish in a way, and they'll sell you anything from meds to food to water to even containers. Um, I'll explain containers a little bit later, but I don't want to get into it right now. Again, you'll start with level one, so you'll get a couple meds, bandages, stuff like that, and I'll explain meds later. It's you get level one, level two, level three, and royalty four. Um, Loyalty, sorry, for fence. Now, fence is a little bit of a tricky one. You actually don't get any levels with fence. Fence is a trader that anything that people sell to him, he puts on the market for like literally double the price. I don't know how much he puts it on the market for, but he puts it very, very expensive. People usually don't buy from him, but you have instances where you do, and you have instances where you do want to sell to him because he'll give you more of a value, but it's usually always a ripoff. It's usually always a ripoff, so I would suggest um kind of going through him and seeing if you can find anything, but some of his stuff just gets sold really, really quickly. He doesn't have too much stock. On the bottom right here, this little 20, this little 16 tells you how many he has available for you. So he has only 47 of this ammo type, etc. I'm gonna keep going a little faster just so we can wrap this video up and not keep you guys too long. Skier sells anything like also American in a way, but he sells it for rubles. So he'll have your shotguns, your TAWs, your vectors, things like that. It's not fully American, but he'll sell you a variety of things. He'll sell you parts too that you'll need definitely. Peacekeeper is an all American trader. As you can see on the top right here, you have your rubles, which is Russian currency, your euros, which is European currency, and then your dollars. So rubles is the one that you have the most. Then you have euros. Then you have dollars. He only buys and sells things for dollars. So take that in mind when you're using your money. You can also buy dollars from him. So exchange rubles for dollars. 1 ruble is 100 and I'm sorry, $1 is 126 rubles. Mechanic is your gunman. He is going to have most of your parts. He is going to have most of your stocks, most of your barrels, things like that. He'll also have really, really good weapons with really good parts on them. He'll be your man for weapons, or anything pretty much under the line of a mechanic, I guess. Um, Ragman will have your kit. He'll have your armor. He'll have your masks, your face shields, your anything armor related, Ragman will have it. Same thing with him. No one else but Peacekeeper takes dollars. Everyone else takes rubles, and mechanic here and there, and also therapists, they take euros. Jaeger is like your, I guess, Russian guy, I would say too. He sells AKs, he sells gas, or some rigs, barrels, a lot of barrels I noticed, um, and some bullets as well. So now that we've gotten all these out of the way, look into them, examine them, you'll figure it out as you go. That was a little guide of what they kind of sell. Um, and I guess the most one you probably won't be using is Fence, even though he kind of looks like the one that you want to just go to, like, oh, give me something good. But he kind of rips you off here and there. Also, you will have leveling up kind of points here, which if you do the task, it'll push their level higher and higher and higher, and the higher they go, uh, the better ranking you'll get with depending how much money you spent. So if you see here, my current attitude for proper is level 32, tier 3 level 32. I have 0.88, like I would say ranking with him, and then I've spent 7.3 million rubles with on him. And for me to get loyalty level 4, which is the next loyalty, I have to be level 33, have higher than 0.50, which I already do, so it's level blue, but I don't have 33, so it's green. I'm sorry, so it's red. And then 2.3 spent, and I have 7.3 spent. So honestly, don't worry about your spending with proper, and most of the traders you'll be spending like crazy, as well as your ranking with them. You'll usually, while you're doing their tasks, you'll rank up pretty easily with them. The only thing I would recommend working on is your level, because level just it's the last thing you'll probably have. So now we're back to the main menu. I hope that was not too complicated for you. I want to make it as simple as I possibly can, honestly. So now we'll go to character here. So within character, oh, all right. Let's now that we've made it this far, let's keep going here. So within character, you have your stash on the right hand side. That's everything that you have, let's just say at home, that you will not lose because you don't have on. This is where you can keep, this is your chest. This is your big chest, you know? Things that no one can ever take from you. This is your stuff. You get me? And let me explain the subtabs up here. So the first subtab is overall. Overall will give you what level you are, um, your KD, your survival rate. All this is all right here as well. Everything pretty much, your combat history, all that stuff. Your XP, how much XP you got in, and then the type of clothes you're rocking. Next thing as well is your gear. This is your main setup. This is where you'll be doing most of the things. Next one is health. This is I'll show you this. You can access this, by the way, in raid as well. I'll show you how, and you could just access this whenever. Besides your stash, you won't be able to access that in raid, but you will be able to access all these other subtabs. Skills. You have your main level right here, and how far you are to progress to your 30 to your next level, and then you have soft skills. Soft skills are pretty much little skills that help you out in the game drastically, actually. So as you can see, my endurance is level 21. Even though I'm level 32, my endurance is level 21. You get perks off that. Increase stamina by 42, decrease stamina drain, increase breath holding time, stuff like that. So all these help out in combat, in how fast you run, or how long you run, I mean, I'm sorry, and then how far, like, strength is how far you can chuck a grenade, like things like that. Health is the look at that, decreases chances of fracture, stuff like that. So you want to be leveling this up as you go. You could be leveling up, so don't worry. But you can do things to level them up. So if you want your endurance to level up, all you got to do is just run more while you're in raid, things like that. Map you'll never use. You'll never use maps. I'll give you the reason why, and you should never even have anything in here, and I'll tell you why. Tasks is the task that you're currently on, and what you want to work on. For the day, you have all these open. You can just, decide what you want to do with it. Your quest items in inventory in raid, or quest items special stash off raid, is pretty much, let's say you go in raid and you look, it says hand folder 0052. Let's say you get that folder 0052 in raid, it'll show up here, and then you can either give it to him, or let's say you, for some odd reason, you just don't want to give it to him, then you can put it in the off raid. If you do not put it in the off raid and you do not give it to him, the next time you go into a raid, you'll still have it in raid, and you'll lose it if you die. So if you, for some reason, you don't want to give it to him just yet, then make sure you just transfer it to the off raid by dragging it, or by clicking it and pressing transfer here, and it'll transfer to off raid and you won't lose it. But usually you'll always give it to your traders. So now talking about character himself. Okay, like I said, you have your currency up here, and you have your character here. You have your tactical rig here, right? Which is, you can carry ammo, carry your mags, etc. Your pockets as well. You have here, which you can carry heals. You can carry whatever you'd like to carry. But I'll tell you, to give you a, an explanation on what you should carry where. I'll give you a reason for it. You have your backpack, which whatever you find in raid, you can put in here. You have your pouch. Now, I'll stop at pouch here. So, pouch is a big thing in this game. You should only have a when you start off, unless you buy the upgraded passes, you should only have a four by 2 by 2, sorry, a 2 by 2 square, and you can fit anything you want in there. I usually shove meds in there. Sick case, a sick case is pretty much keys and rubles, and you can have a docs case and stuff like that. That's later on. Um, but I would shove meds in here. Early on, I would shove meds and ammo. Reason being is because, especially like painkillers, anything painkillers, ibuprofen, um, Vaseline, all that goes in your pouch. Reason being is because those things are very expensive and super hard to get in low levels. Meds are super expensive low and in low levels. So I would recommend shoving it in there and literally shove it up your butt, and just leave it in there. And reason being is because if you die, you will not lose anything in your pouch. Everything else on your player, all this, you will lose, but you will not lose anything in here. So let's just say you do die, at least you get to keep your Vaseline, which are painkillers, right? Upgraded painkillers. Okay, so now talking about what your player can wear and will use. Your earpiece. First thing is headphones. We know with headphones you hear a lot better. That goes with video gaming, shooting weapons, etc. So, earpieces, you will be able to hear footsteps a lot clearer. There are a couple of earpieces in the game. There are a couple earpieces in the game. You could use whichever. That's all personal preference. There's ones that amplify noise, like all the noise. There's ones that dim down wind noise, etc. Just try them out. I believe you get some off the rip. So you could try any one of those out, whichever you like, go for it. You have headwear. Headwear is helmets, okay? As you can see, I'm wearing a helmet right now, and I just took it off. Or you can put it on, and it's highlighted green uh, when it's the right item that you need to put there, and it's highlighted red when it's the wrong item you want to put there. So boom, you put it there, right? Now you have a helmet on. Your face cover. Face cover is super important to have on. I would say helmet, earpiece, and face cover, of course, and body armor are the most important things to have on. Reason you face cover. Face cover does not protect you from bullets. Or headgear does. Helmets do, but face gear doesn't. The reason that face gear is super important is because your face is super shiny when you go in, so it's very noticeable. Like let's say you're in a bush, let's say you're walking down a flight of stairs, it's super noticeable when your face is out and super shiny, right? So wear a mask, it'll cover your face a little bit more and it won't make you as noticeable. Um, you can have an armband, you can have it or not have it. It's up to you. It doesn't make a difference. I just usually have it on because I'm always playing with friends, and it's easier for them to see me in a way. Then you have your body armor. Of course, we all know it's super easy. Body armor is super important. I do not want to get into depth with body armor. I don't want to get into depth with anything that has to do with actually getting to know the game itself. I want to just get to know the fundamentals so you get started with the game. You can wear glasses, etc. That helps with rain. This is your first gun and your second gun. You can only carry two main guns, just like in most games, and you can carry a pistol as well. Then you have your knife. Super self-explanatory. Um, you can adjust your keybinds accordingly to these. Then you have, like I said, your tactical rig. Now, the reason you have a tactical rig, just think about it like in real life. Let's say I get a mag. This is a mag, right? It looks like a mag. It goes on the gun. But let's say I get a mag and I want to reload my weapon. if it is not in your tactical rig, this thing on top, if it's not in here and it's in your backpack, you will not be able to reload the gun, just like in real life. If you have a rig on, let's say you have like a rig on in real life with a gun, you can easily grab the mag from there. But if you put it in your backpack in real life, you're not going to be able to easily grab the mag out of your back. So keep your mags in your rig, um, so you have ease of access to them, and so you're able to just press R and reload to them. Okay, and it's 0 out of 50, so you're supposed to fill them up. Like I said, I didn't want to get into detail. I just wanted to give you some tips and help into this. There's so much to this game, so this is going to be a beginner's guide. But anyways, keep your mags in your um, rig. That is the biggest thing, as well as heals. Heals, try to keep them in either in your rig or in your pockets. I know I said put heals here, but I'm talking about maybe white heals or bleeding or splints. There's a lot of different heals in this game. They're pretty easy once you get them, but pretty much you can hotkey them. You see, I have them 4, 5, 6. Let's say you're in a tough situation, you don't want to open up your inventory to heal yourself one by one, going like this. You just kind of want to and click 4, and then you're able to heal yourself and still be like moving around, you know? So anyways, you can decide what you want to do with it, but it would be beneficial for you to hotkey them. But as I would say, I would still just suggest keeping as at least some meds in your 2x2, just so you don't lose them. Then your backpack. So now your backpack, you can store anything you want. You can store, let's say you get a rig off someone, you can store a rig in there and then put other things inside that rig. So you can double up. As you can see, you can put multiple backpacks in here. So let's say you kill someone, you can put their backpack in there, and then you'll have a bunch of backpacks, etc., right? So you can put anything in your backpack um, that you want to fit in there. One thing I do want to know is, like, let's say you find anything of value. Let's say you find something that you haven't seen before, and you might even think it's a good item. It's a rare item. You can sell it, etc. Then you can take out from your pouch, and you can put it inside your pouch so you won't lose it once you get out. You can't put weapons in there, um, and you can't put like armor in there, but anything else you can put in there. You can put even other meds. Let's say you find another med that's used less, then you can just pop it in there. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I want to talk about health. So health. So it's super easy. Actually, last thing before I go to health, on the bottom you have a health bar, and in this health bar, it'll give you how much you weigh. Right now, I weigh 26 pounds. I guess it goes not pounds. I don't know what it goes by, but I weigh 26, right? So as this number progresses, as you can see, if I put something like this, it goes up. It went up to 32.3. As soon as it goes to the yellow, you'll start losing stamina a lot quicker. So for you guys, try to keep yourselves on that white if you can't, and you need to, because you want to take as much loot as you can. So let's say you killed a couple people and you're just super heavy. Well, then what you could do is you could just try to leave that raid as soon as you can, so you're not getting any fatigue, and it's not easier for you to die. um, the next thing is your health. You have a health out of 440. So every little piece of your body, so your head, your chest, your thorax, your stomach, your right arm, your left leg, and right leg, all these hit points make up 440. So that's what pretty much that means. So I'll tell you, you're maybe like you got hit a couple times, they'll tell you 380 out of 440, etc. Next thing is your hydration. So your hydration, super important to keep up, and your energy, which is how much food you consume, is super important to keep up during raid. You do not want these to hit zero, or you will have some serious side effects. It's a no-no. You could do it by either bringing food in or bringing water in. Or if you know the raid is going to be quick, just go in just 100, 100, and you should be fine. Next thing I want to talk about is health, right? So the main things that you want to focus on taking care of is your head and your thorax. These are the two main things that if they go to zero, you're a goner. So make sure you take care of these two things. Um, Talking about time actually, or earlier, we've already surpassed our limit here. We've already been going for quite a bit of time, but we're almost done. We're almost about to wrap this up here. There's not too much. You guys are should be pretty solid by now. So, anyways, head and thorax, super important. Do not let it go to zero. You have 35 hit points in the head, 85 hit points in the thorax. Anything else, if they go to zero, you will be okay. Um, just don't let the head and thorax go to zero, and that's why we have, helmet and body armor. So super simple. There's a couple things that you want to know for heals. I don't want to make it too crazy, but there is there's hit point deduction, which is right. This goes to 40 out of 60. This left arm goes to 40 out of 60. So you could heal it with a white heal, which is maybe an eye fact, a Salewa. You might have a Salewa early on. I don't know what you have early on, but you want to heal it with those. You have bleeding. Bleeding is if you're bleeding, if you're bleeding, um, you will if you're bleeding, you will lose health constantly as you progress through the raid. So you will lose health constantly as you progress through the raid. If you do not fix your bleeding, but you could fix it with a hemostat, an S mark, a bandage. There's two different types of bleeds. There's a heavy bleed and a light bleed. Bandages fix light bleeds. Hemostats, S marks, even white heals fix bleeds as well. Then the other thing you also have is fractures. Fractures can happen with you breaking your bone, etc. They could even shoot you in the leg and break your bone. And you can fix it with anything splints, right? Anything splint related. Super simple. If your left arm is fractured, there will be a square icon here, and then you can hover over it and it'll say it's fractured. So all you need to do is just drag the splint to the left arm and it'll be fixed. Super simple. These things right here um are not in the game yet. This is radiation. I believe this is radiation. I don't know what this is. I'll have to search the wiki on it. But these are still not in the game, so you do not have to worry about them. But they probably will be. The most likely they will be. Um, After that, the final thing I do want to go over. I was gonna go over hideout in here, but I will do that for a separate video because hideout's is another thing that I want to go over. But it's very simple, guys. As soon as you get it over, you can watch this video one time, maybe even two times if you feel. But it's super simple. Again, I told you your stash has anything you can carry. So anything you get, I would suggest putting in your stash. I have it um, I find it helpful keeping it super organized, okay? You won't be able to have cases like these, like a meds case that you can stick a lot of meds in early on. You'll work your way up to those, but you probably won't have that early on. These are all my rigs, right? And then, like I said, you could stash backpacks in backpacks. So I would say stash all your backpacks in your backpacks, and you can just keep going and stashing every single backpack and use them whenever you're ready. You want to keep keys. That's 100%. You want to keep all your keys and organize them as you go. There's different keys for different maps. You'll get used to that as well. And pretty much for the stash, that's it. You know, anything that you don't want to take in the raid, you leave at your stash and you get to keep, and that is yours to keep. So that is my full explanation, as in depth as I wanted it to be for a beginner. Again, you can rewind, you can go forward, um, and try to learn uh, with what I said. But if you're still struggling, especially what I feel people are struggling on is extracting in the game, um, because the maps could be so vast in the beginning. People always tell me that they have a tough time extracting, and finding where they need to go. They know how to loot, they know where to look, but they just don't know how to extract. I will leave in the description all the maps for all the maps that I use to get me around the map. I usually don't use them anymore. You get used to them, trust me. But I can leave them in the description so you can go look at them. And the reason I said that you will not use the maps in the game, there are some maps in the game, as you can see. Therapist does sell them to you, uh, like this here. You know, this is like a map, but they're very, very terrible. Honestly, they really, really are. You don't understand anything. They have no landmarks, nothing like that. So the maps that I have in the description show you so, so much more, and it'll help you get throughout the map, very, very easily. So I'll put that in the description, um, as well as maybe any other videos from other YouTubers that I've learned. I'll put a settings video as well that helped me out understand my settings, what type of graphics I should be using, and stuff like that. I'll run through them if you want to look at them. Um, but I'll also put them in the description, the people that I used. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see more content of these, and hit that like button. Thank you guys. Later.